What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon jumping back into Rugby 25 today because we've had our latest update, which has caught me by surprise because I thought we were now on to Friday updates. I thought we did the last one was on a Friday, right? And then they were going to do every 3 weeks as well. It's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday nonetheless. So here we are for today's update. As usual, timestamps down in the description and in the timeline of the video so you can jump to any section you wish. We'll start out then by, well, last update. Let's talk about last update quickly. Not great. We had the addition of the kicking and you catching the ball in the air and stuff, which if you saw that video from me, it didn't work. It was broken. Nothing went at all how it was meant to. Over the course of the next week or so, it somehow, like, fixed itself. The arrows actually started moving. You could get catches under the high ball. If you caught any of the Lions games I've been putting up on the channel since the most recent update, you can sort of see it working a bit there. And I thought maybe it'd be worth doing another video now that it's fixed and actually working. But so much other stuff was going wrong and just bad. We had the try replays have vanished. We've had broken things all over the place. Offsides are broken. New kick takers. The loose head props at kickoff. There was so much else that was wrong since that update. I was like, it's not even worth doing a second video because I'm going to say, oh, the catching's fixed and everything else is broken. So we've had to wait 3 weeks for this to come around, but we do have new patch notes and hopefully some fixes, hopefully. Fingers crossed. We'll see how we get on. So let me chuck the patch notes on the screen for everyone to take a look at. Let's work our way through them. So, added dynamic conversion kicks. What will that consist of? We've asked for conversion kicks to be something since day one of early access, and they've never been anything. It's just been holding down the Y button that then adapted into flick the stick forward. It was nothing. There's been nothing to it. So really hoping that it's going to change a lot. I really like the AFL kicking style. I've seen a bit of stuff that was going on in Rugby League 26, and I kind of like that too. Rugby 25 was just the worst out of all the big ant games. So tries today is what we're aiming for because we want to test these new conversion mechanics. Added option to switch between dynamic or classic conversion kick, as in like the camera angle, or as in like how it's taken. Because if it just goes back to using the stick thing, then aren't people just going to use that in like online multiplayer? It's way easier. We'll have to see about that one. Added traditional punt option. Alright. It's always had a punt option, right? Maybe that means they fixed the camera jolt. Maybe that means a new button. I don't know what that means. Added option to switch between traditional or skill-based in-play kicks. I don't know what any of these mean. Okay. Skill-based kick. Skill-based on what? Like my kicking stat? Is there something different? What does that mean? What am I keeping an eye out for? How do I switch? Is that in the options menu? I don't know. We'll have a look at that in a sec. Adjusted attacking and defensive lines. Improved structure across field positions. Enhanced access to wings and tighter defensive setups depending on field position. More updates coming to expand tactical gameplay. Well, that's good. You know, enhanced access to get to the wings. As someone who likes to typically play quite wide, I'm always looking for cross-field kicks. I'm looking to try and play very few passes out the back, longer range passes, a little bit more dangerous. That's my style of attacking play. So I kind of like that feels like it's going to fall into my world a little bit. So we'll test that today. And then tighter defense, maybe good. I mean, you don't want them to be too narrow so that there's just massive gaps on the further outside that you can't do anything with. Assorted team updates. Alright, assorted player visual updates, improved stability. Very, very general final 3 points that I can't possibly look at or test. So first of all, let's have a look at... woo! There's a whole bunch of options now in the general gameplay. So we've got the offside indicator, offside lines I've got disabled. Inverted kick shot options disabled for me because I can't stand it, they go the wrong way. Automatic contested collect. I've had that turned off because I enjoy feeling like I'm involved in the catch. I think that's fine. I've kept the UI on because I don't know how you play currently with the UI off for the contested catches because it's not like timing. It's not like positioning. There's nothing in-game that you could get away with by... It's like you need to hit the arrow in the green bar. That's all you need to do to win the catch. So not having the UI on screen makes it almost impossible to actually play correctly, which is a bit of a shame for me. Skill-based in-play kicks enabled. Great! Let's see what that means. Classic conversion kicks disabled. Whoa. Conversion style will only change at the beginning of the next conversion. No. So I can either change that to... So we'll keep that disabled. We want to see what the new conversion things are. And then the voice chat and the online crossplay is disabled. default. I think that was from the last time I ever played on in multiplayer. So we've got the kick set up. We want try. So let's go as a slightly higher rated team just to give us, you know, the ability to do it, because God knows what's going to happen with the Rucks. We don't know. Let's do South Africa versus... We've got Rugby Championship coming up soon. I don't know if I want to ruin some of those games, because I want to do them on the channel. Let's do like what about like South Africa, Italy? That was a game that was on more recently, right? Where's Italy? There we go. Let's do South Africa, Italy. We'll keep it on hardest. Let's change it out of nighttime. That's broken now since I've been doing the Lions games by putting it on nighttime. It's now like default nighttime. We'll start a game off. We don't know what rucks are going to look like. We don't know what's going to change, what's going to be broken. So let's just do a bit of a team differential, because we want to try and score some tries. We'll keep it on the hardest. Hopefully that'll still be a relatively fun game to be able to get through. So we can skip all this. We've got nothing really going on there. Any player updates, visuals, or team updates? It doesn't say who the teams are. It's impacted. It doesn't say Peter Steph Dutoy. Still not necessarily looking like Peter Steph Dutoy. Some decent. I feel like a lot of the Italian players are missing a lot of their face scans as well, right? I will have to... Again, that would just be nice in the patch notes. Which teams have been affected by the team updates and the player visuals? I don't know. And what am I going to do? Cycle through all of them? I don't know. Right, let's go off for a high up and under to start out with. Also have not been able to catch a single ball off of restarts anymore. I feel like they've gone, even though they've got the contested catches. I feel like I can never get my hands on the ball. Here's my tight defence with a massive hole for Menoncello to run through. And I'm noticing both sets of player names are on the screen. Oh, there we go. Breck's going for something over the top. And I've caught the ball and the Italian one has disappeared. I enjoyed that for all the first 3 minutes of the game, to be able to have the both teams actually on screen with their player names. Let's see if we can go wide. Some janky passing, but we were able to shift it out to the wing at least. Let's go for a grubber kick on. That is something I would like to see them work on, is the timing between you taking like a grubber kick or a chip kick and then being able to tackle you, because it feels like they're able to tackle you really late, and they are able just to, you know, completely stop any sort of tactical attack you've gone for over the top. Let's go for a kick over the top. That felt... It's still janky, because they've still got the camera angle on the side camera. They've still got the fast zoom out, so it still feels janky as opposed to a slow progression out. But I didn't notice any jolting there, and I was able to position this kick lovely. Right on the edge of the 22, that's exactly where I was aiming for it to be. I felt a lot more in control of that. So is that the new tactical kicking system? Okay, they're going to go for another box kick. I think that's Sebastian Negri with a box kick there. Very impressive by the blindside flanker. Let's see if we can go to the winger. So we're going to go to the Y player out the back, and then we're going to try and go one. Still feel like, I don't know who our right winger, I think Arens is the right winger for us, right? Sorry, the left winger. Oh no, Cheslin Colby's left wing. Oh, Kanan Moody's right wing. Oh, so actually the team has been updated for South Africa, because I haven't touched the South African team. And Arens, I'm sure, used to be left wing here, and Colby was the right wing. So they have updated the team, which is nice. So Cheslin Colby on that left wing. Still feel like Cheslin Colby ran in, as opposed to holding out on his wing where the room was. He sort of cut back inside, which not necessarily what I wanted him to do. Feel like the support runners are also with me a little bit more. That grubber kick not leading to anything once again. Feel like the support runners are slightly further forward, which is nice. I'm not throwing it 20 metres behind me, which has been very, very annoying over filming the Lions. If you've been seeing the Lions videos, by the way, I hope people have enjoyed the Lions videos I've been doing. I try my best to make them entertaining. The videos are not meant... Some people get it wrong in the comments. People think that, like, I'm getting hammered by the AI, and I'm like, the idea is to try and make the videos entertaining. It's meant to be fun. We're meant to be enjoying rugby. It's not meant to be a 50-0 stamp out. I'm trying to make the games look visually more fun. So hopefully people have been able to enjoy it. It's Kanan Moody here. Oh, what a lovely little break here. Let's go for a cheeky handoff and just cheat, because I want to score a try. Oh, no, we'll get a held up. So that one is a held up. I got tackled onto my back, which is fine. Are the TMO... Have they fixed the TMO cameras? Oh, no, we're still looking at nothing. I thought they'd fixed the TMO. The TMO cameras stopped like 10 updates ago, and we haven't had the TMOs working at all. So I'm glad the TMO cameras are back. They've just got to work on getting those TMO cameras to actually look at the thing that happened, as opposed to It's panning out into the middle of nowhere, which has been very weird to be able to see. But I'm glad they're back. That might mean try replays are back as well, which would be nice. Let me try and hit this hole in the middle here with Damian Dialende. Doesn't make it through. Still not got all the players' names. Astonishingly. I still don't understand how the... Like, it still says, like, inside centre and, you know, in different players' positioning. I still don't understand that logic of how it works. Let's go for Bongi and Banambi to get a little chip kick over the top. Did catch it, didn't call the mark. Would have had absolutely every right to call the mark there. But didn't choose to. I have seen the AI calling the mark a little bit more. In fact, should we try and show off a bit of the kicking? The contested catches, rather. Let's go this way, because I need to try and get to a winger. Where are my wingers? I think Colby's in the middle here. Let me see if I can show off the contested kicking. So you can now see how the arrows are moving round the bar. And I can now time in the green and catch my own kick. So they now work, and they've been working since that last update. For some reason, in the last video, they did not work at all. The graphics never moved. The bar didn't seem to work properly. I don't know what was wrong with that. It just sort of fixed itself after about, I don't know, a week of the update being out. Another one helped. So they haven't fixed the idea that, like, you can still score a try. Like, I've absolutely scored a try there with Cheslin Colby. He dropped the ball on the try line. It's there, right? I think that needs to be tweaked to be able to judge whether or not it is a try or is held up. I'm really struggling to get a try here because they're just tackling me right at the end. I felt a lot more in control, though, of my attack, which has been nice. It doesn't feel loose. It doesn't feel like I've got to just cheat offload every single time. Let me just sort of run into contact here. Italy are defending more narrowly. I am able to get out to the wingers. Still got that interception thing where the player I'm passing to is catching the ball who I'm not aiming for, which is very, very irritating. You go for that pass up the back, going for like now if I was passing to Jasper Wiese with the X button, there's a chance Bongi and Banambi might catch this. And does. Very, very weird. That's not who I'm targeting at all, but just like the player pathing is in the way. And it is very, very annoying as Villarreal. I don't know why I threw that off, but I still haven't scored a try. So the AI feels like it's defending better. It doesn't feel like they're necessarily cheating. I'm still going man for man. I'm not spamming the handoff and stuff. I know people are always like, oh, you should utilize the handoff more. So it just feels like cheating. But I do want to get tries, I guess. So maybe I should try and cheat a little bit more. But it'd be nice to actually put some phases together. Some attack phases. Now, they've said they've worked on, like, the attack structure and stuff, right? To try and break through. Adjusted attack and defensive lines. Let's try and go far out wide again. See if I can just get on the outside. I'll do a bit of a cheating run because I do want to try and score tries. Let's do a handoff. One offload. We want to score tries because we want to see the new conversions, right? So let's just do it. Let's sort of get on with it. And Kane and Moody will go over. Have they fixed the try replays? Let's find out, because it's amazing how much that takes away from the game. They have fixed try replays. I no longer have to faff about in videos trying to make my own, which do not look anywhere near as good as the standard cinematic ones. Okay, so placing the ball is the same as it has always been. Andre Parlad, I thought he was under the posts. He's not. He's just by the flag. I thought that was a terrible cinematic mistake there. I think that's just meant to be a flag by him, not the posts. I'm hoping. Yes, there's a flag on his right-hand side. Right. What are we looking at? Okay, we've still got the line. We've got a kick and power down the bottom right, and we've got a power bar. Was the power bar meant to move or do something? I feel like that bar that was next to me was meant to fill and didn't. I feel like that's what's happened there. That's more similar to what we've seen in Rugby League 26, right? Let's try and get some more tries and have another look at that. I feel like you're meant to hold the stick down, and then that bar fills with power, and then you flick it forwards when you want to push it. As opposed to you pushing it forward equals the amount of power, I'm guessing. But that isn't what happened there, and I pushed it forward pretty hard to see just in case it was that. Let's just go here once again and see if we can break through the line with Kane and Moody. AI still spamming the offload game. That's a good turnover by Bongi and Banambi. Let's just go right, because we've surely got to have pace out here. Well, maybe not Frans Malherbe. Might be one of the worst players I could have had possibly trying to charge down that wing on this South African team, but there we are. Right, let's see if we can... So they've still not... So that's an injury. Referee says stop the clock. We've still not had to stop the clock. I don't know how to test as well for... there was an issue with knock-ons awarding penalties rather than scrums. It's very hard to force a knock-on in this game currently. So let's just try and cheat with a handoff. I want to get more tries just to test it. Let's go for Y. I think I've got a bit of room on the inside. Well, took it a bit flat. Was clearly trying to cut back inside. I still feel like this game would have a much better time if they went back to the 3-player rucking system to 5. It's very hard to feel like you're generating good attacking line when you've got 5 players stuck in a ruck and you've lost a third of your team to the ruck. Okay, Italy, if you want to kick it back to me so we can get another try, that would be great. Nobody got in the ruck for me that time. Still nobody's got in the ruck. I've pressed B a million times. Alright, let's just try and cheese a little bit. Pace, 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 pace. Jesse Creel. Much, much slower than he is in real life. Slowly getting there. Like, look at my options. Everyone's in a... Is this better attacking positions? I'm not really sure. I still feel quite ball-esque, but we'll dot it down for another one. Right, let's have a look at this kicking one again. I'm so glad that the try animations are back in. Still able to get those offloads. Where again, offloads would be something I think they could probably do with dialing down a little bit. Right, so let's place the kick. Subs coming on. Nice, glad to see they're doing subs as well. There was a few issues with subs not working. Right, so there's my up and down arrow. I've got a power bar next to the ball. The only options it tells me on screen: power up, push it down, kick, push it up. Hold it down. Right. So the power bar doesn't start moving until you're really close to the ball as your player moving forwards. Do I like that? I'm not sure. Makes a bit of logical sense in terms of like the sort of, you know, you wouldn't generate that power until you're swinging your leg back in the actual, you know, world these players are playing in. So I guess that makes a bit more realism sense that that's when you're doing it. I feel like that timing could catch you out, though. It's a bit weird to have that graphic on screen doing nothing for 80% of the kick. I maybe feel like that could be interacted with earlier. And then once you've just selected the power, you wait for him to just kick the ball at the end of it. Still feel like I'm very, very bunched to be able to get this to my winger. Get back inside here and see if we can make a bit of a breakthrough. Still feel like I can't... It's hard to really put a lot of, like, interesting passes together. That's not who I wanted. Nor that. There we go. Eventually we got to Cheslin Colby. And like that, what we've got. Now, they're 12-0 down. Will the AI play on? Well, they'll do a box kick. The AI has enjoyed doing a lot of these box kicks from their 22. I'm glad they've played on. It's been kind of annoying to see them just kick it out, even when they've been within a score. Obviously, not in this game. They're not within that scoring range, you know, to be able to actually win the game. But it has been annoying to see them when they're 1 or 2 points down, kick it out on the full, even when they're on your 5-meter line, because they just, for some reason, don't have the confidence in being able to score a try. Let's go over for one more. Boom, there we go. One final try to seal us out. The attack has felt a bit more organised, a bit more structured. It feels like I've actually been able to play with this today. The AI do feel like they're holding back a little bit, which isn't a bad thing because I feel like I've been able to get away a little bit more. So glad that they're back. Let's just have a look at the kicking from a slightly different... What a time to do a sub. 85th minute. Get yourself on, boy. I'm sure you'll play a big part in watching this ball go over. So this time I'm going to let the bar fill up to maximum and then swing forward and see if it maybe messes up the kick or something. What on earth does 9 degrees right mean? Did anyone see that? What does that mean? 9 degrees. I'm telling you, I hit that way off 9. Did I? I feel like I didn't hit it brilliantly anyway. But the power bar did start coming back down. So you've got to time it right going forwards, which I think is a positive. That's a nice wall to look at. But you can hit it very, very off. That might need to be brought in a bit in terms of a kick messing up or something. Maybe it was me that messed up. I kind of want to do a bit more. Oh, a high tackle. High tackles are back in, are they? I feel like we haven't seen a lot of high tackles either. I just want to jump in a bit more. and just have a look at a couple of the other elements a little bit further in depth, because it was a little bit hard to generate some of those attacks because the rucks were so consistent. So let's have a look at some of this this tactical. Oh, the kicking's way better. The kicking is way, way better. In fact, I'm chasing this one down here. That might stay in field. Oh, nearly. That kicking is way better. I have so much more control over where I can place the kick. Get rid of that juttery nonsense. Let's try and go for a 50-22. Put it in there. Oh, I mean, look how much better that is. That's so much better. Right, and there's an easy 50-22. I've been able to land. I've been able to sort of punish, you know, a higher rated team. It gives me that opportunity. I still think the camera zoom out is a little bit quick. Let's go for a little one over the top. The AI is also now capable of doing high tackles. Let's go for a penalty goal because I want to test the kicking a little bit more. Oh, and he's left-footed. Is Garbisi left-footed? I can't think actually off the top of my head. Maybe he is. Right, let's go for the power bar then, and everything swap sides as well. The power bar swap sides. So we're going to go. I'm going to purposefully kick very far to the left, but with okay power. So that time, I purposefully left the power in an okay range and hit it very far left, but the ball went right. Not sure why. That's a beautiful... Oh, this is so much better. That is not... At least the quick lineouts haven't broken everything. We had 5 players at that ruck compared to South Africa's nobody. And we still weren't able to get the ball. Bongia Banambi! Oh, with the incredible crossfield kick. Again, crossfield kicks I've seen the AI do a little bit more, but they aren't contestable for some reason. Like, I can't seem to get someone on the end of that. Look at this. Oh, I'm having fun. I'm having fun with the kicking, guys, isn't it? Incredible! What can happen in a rugby game when you're able to do kicking? Let me just sort of move along here again. I would like to try and get one more try. Just have... Oh, no. Well, that's gone. That one looked forwards. Haven't got a knock on for that. And I'm able to get a turnover. Well, yeah, I really... Maybe Italy are just monsters in this game at turnovers and stuff. Oh, that was a lovely line. A bit of an unrealistic pass, but a lovely line to be able to run. And able to get over... Yeah, the pass wasn't as smooth as it could be, but my winger then actually, that was a time where they did cut back inside, but it was very, very useful. So let me throw it slightly. So I'm going to aim very far to the left, but I'm actually going to push the stick slightly right and try and do an okay kick. I'm not sure. So it seems to want to be... You can only push that stick vertically upwards. And any deviation from vertically upwards is going to cause it to go wildly left or wildly right. And it's not even the right direction. The one I did left, the ball went really far right. And the one I did right went really far left. Oh, I forgot I was Italy. So it looks like the game is now going to require you to kick it forward, which is fine. But then I feel like there's... I don't mind the power thing, but I feel like the problem then becomes... like you're just sort of lining the line back up through the post and hitting it forwards, as opposed to it actually being a little bit more about where you hit it is where the ball's going to go, as if like the white line would be a perfect kick from what you're aiming for, but your deviations make it, you know, go off centre a little bit. Let's see if I can just run over for one more. I want to have one more go at it. It still feels like there's something else to sort of have a look at here. So now let me just do one where I only push upwards, but like with an okay amount of power. 2 degrees right. So it looks like it's popping up below the scoreboard. If you see it very, very quickly, maybe you can skip back in the video. But it's saying that you're hitting your stick X amount of degrees left or right of how far off you are from being perfect centre. So 2 degrees off, not bad, pushing a stick forward. But that did add a bit of an element on it. I was ever so slightly right on that one because I know my standard sort of drift. And that kick went pretty close towards that right-hand post, so it felt like it went the right way. So I'm going to assume there's a excess distance you're allowed to do. And maybe if you go like over 10 degrees, although the 9-degree one went wrong, right? So if you go like beyond 5 degrees off of straight, it just goes wildly out the way. I'm not sure it needs to be quite as aggressive as, 90 degrees left or right from an outrageous kick. But I do like there's a few more ways to mess up now, though. Still feel like it's slightly too easy with you're just lining it up with the line. And then you're hitting it. I would maybe even like to see if they got rid of the curved line and just had a straight line and let the wind on the field make the ball curve or something. Still feel like it could go a little bit further, but at least it's something now to keep an eye on as opposed to just flicking the kicks through and have them break on you. So let's jump in then to some thoughts and feedback on this. In all honesty, this has felt like a much more positive experience for me than it was last week. The catching thing now seems to be working. The attack lines felt a little bit better. Kicking seems to have been fixed in terms of around the park. I was able to do some pretty fun things with my kicks. And the new conversion, so we'll sort of have a chat about. So, let's put the patch notes back up screen and run through. So, added dynamic conversion kicks. It's something different. It's something better. I would say it is better. I would like to have a bit more of a play around with how those kicks are determined by the way they are. I still think... I don't know if you necessarily need... Yeah, it's okay that it pops down with like 2 degrees left, right. It's a video game. I get that it's a video game. I want it to feel like it's a sport. I don't know if it needs to tell me how many degrees I was off, but I guess that's how Big Ant have tried to work around. I, as the player, don't have any response of why my kick has gone wrong, because they've just done that little text box drop down. It's not the worst thing. It's not the worst thing in the world. I do think the over-dramatic kick failure, like you hit the stick... 9 degrees off straight means it's over there somewhere. Probably reduce over there to it's gone that way. It's a bit of a slice. It goes out. Maybe you just remove the curl on the ball so it flies straight, but it flies straight 9 degrees that way, and you still miss. Maybe there's a chance you still get it in, even if you do a bad kick. That happens in rugby, right? You can still kind of miss up a kick, but you're close enough to the post. It's okay. I feel like the extremeness of the failed kicks could narrow down. The new sort of visual on screen, I feel like it's something I could get used to. The build-up of power doesn't start till you're basically swinging your leg back. In World, it feels like it actually makes sense. It feels like it's okay. Took me 2 or 3 attempts to understand what on earth I was doing, because it's weird to have the power bar on screen with nothing happening. The thing I like as well is when you can have the less... In fact, is there an option to sort of take that off screen? That would be interesting. So there is no way to take kick UI off the screen. That to me would be an interesting... I would like to see how it would work, for one. But like, so you didn't have that power bar building up on screen. So you have to sort of... You're holding it down, holding it down, holding it down, waiting for your player to build the kick, and then you flick it forward at the right time, and it might keep you a little bit more engaged with what's going on in the game, and for more experienced players, make it harder, an extra level of challenge. You could sort of turn it on and off if you want it on or off. Might be something to sort of look at some tweaks there. I do think that is better than what we've had at any point in the conversion. It feels like it's a smaller change than maybe what a lot of people were hoping for after seeing the, quite dramatic kicks you can do from like AFL and stuff. But that to me is better. I think that's a good step for conversion, at least going for now. Added the option to switch between dynamic and classic conversion kicking. Why play with the classic one? That is better. The other one is easier. So if you have to play with the classic, well, maybe you just casual game, maybe. But if you want to enjoy yourself, test yourself a bit, I feel like you should be able to deal with that dynamic. Dynamic does not feel hard. You saw me slot through 2 when I tried properly, and then when I was testing the other one, you saw me mess up. I don't think it's that bad. I feel like you don't necessarily need to be able to swap to the classic. I guess maybe they're using that as a middle ground, maybe to wait for the FAQ feedback and see what people prefer, and maybe they'll, they know whether to keep it in or not. Added traditional punt option. Yes, it's gone back to what it was. It's better. You saw me hitting 50-22s. You saw me doing crossfield kicks. You saw me having this thing called fun with kicking and tactical decision making. Great. Glad they've done that. It's about 8 updates too late, but I'm glad they've finally gone back to what it was. Nobody liked the jittery thing. No one on the FAQ liked it. No one in the Discord liked it. I hated playing with it. It's all terrible. If they can just adjust the speed, specifically on side camera, that the camera zooms out to allow you to see where the kick is going to go, just adjust that speed to make it slower. The kicking's there. The kicking was fun in this game. If you go back towards like early access and launch, the kicking was fun, and that feels more fun. I feel like I can do more with it. So positive for me there. Added option to switch between traditional or skill-based in-play kicks. I don't know what the skill-based kick was. It says I've got skill-based kicks in play. That felt just like what it was. God knows what traditional means. If the traditional means that juttery thing, I want to be able to just lock that as enabled forever, and I never want to go back to it. But maybe you're insane and preferred the jutteriness and not being able to get a good kick away. Alright, then you do that. Adjusted attacking and defensive lines. Improved the structure across field positions. There's certainly a few points in that where I felt like my players were just a ball, stood behind a ruck doing nothing, and it was really hard to get anywhere. Over the course of the game, I did feel like my attack was a little bit more fluid. I felt like my support runners were a bit more closer to me. There is still an issue with players I'm not passing to taking the ball off me because they're in the line of the pass. That's something I think that needs to be looked at, is that just the player positioning where you're taking those passes, or if you select a target pass, the other player needs to duck out the way and let the ball go over their head and go to the person you have selected. I don't want my passes intercepted by my own teammates when I'm clearly not going for them. The defense is meant to be tighter. The defense did feel tighter. It has allowed more room out wide. It feels like I was able to do a lot more today with my wingers. I was able to get the ball to the wingers better. It's a little bit hit and miss at the minute as to what the wingers are deciding to do. If you remember right at the start of the first game, Ches and Colby cut back inside for no reason into a defensive line, which is not what I want. But then later, we went out towards that right-hand wing, and I've got Grant Williams in my head. I can't remember who was actually the right wing. I think it was Kenan Moody, sorry. Cut back inside and actually hit a really nice line. So very, very incident-specific. You know, very, very hard for them to get that right every single time, and players get it wrong in real life. Again, I think that's where the ability for you to have options, like we had in Rugby 22, of a play design. Do I want my wingers to stay wide? Do I, want to be able to toggle on like the D-pad? My wingers should look to cut back inside at every opportunity. Give the player the option of how they want their plays to be and let them adjust it in-game. Something like that would be much better if they're going to work on these attacking lines. Defensive lines, the AI felt a little bit standoffish today. Didn't feel like they were pressuring me. I was able to do a lot more on hardest difficulty. I was sort of flinging around for fun. Definitely the higher rated team, so I'm expecting to be able to do a little bit more, but there were certainly opportunities in there. Defense was tighter. Couldn't really get around the ruck, right? You've got to go out wide, which I think is a little bit better and a little bit more realistic. Assorted team updates, assorted player visual updates, and improved stability. No crashes, no frame rate drops, which I could not say about the last update. And then the team updates and visual updates. Can't say visuals stood out immediately. I don't know what it means, in terms of those players. I don't know whose players they are. But the team updates does look like the South Africa team had their squad updated as well to maybe be a bit more reflective of what we can expect to see in the Rugby Championship. So I think that's a positive. Isn't it amazing, guys? I feel like all I've done today is been happy and spoken about positive things and good changes. I don't think anything was worse. That's a new one to say in one of these videos, right? Honestly, I don't think anything was worse. I think that was a really nice, positive update. I think everything I wanted sort of changed has been changed. The kicking is better. Conversion kicks have something a little bit more to them. Attacking structure, I'm able to get it to the wings easy. The backs are getting included a little bit better. The ruck still makes no sense, but all right, then I just feel like they're never going to make sense in this game ever. The try replays are back. The TMO replays are back, but they're still a bit skewy on what they're actually looking at. I would like them to see them fix whatever happened with the grounding of the ball or held up. It is always in these updates been, it is either 100% a try or 100% held up. I would like that to be a little bit more incident specific, because I think in Rugby League it's very on it from what I've seen in people's videos, and they go to the TMO screen and it either is a try or isn't a try. It feels very correct in their decision making from what I've seen anyway. It feels, I haven't played that game myself, so I'd like it to go a little bit more towards that. But overall, positive things to take away from this game. That is nice to be saying, and it's good for me in terms of getting around to the Rugby Championship. I want to film some videos for the Rugby Championship, doing some of the Rugby Championship games, put them on the channel, and hopefully we can have some quite exciting games and still a bit more fun. Have to see whether or not it feels like the AI is actually going to score tries at the minute. It doesn't feel... They're not cheating as much, which is basically the only way the AI score tries at the minute. So we'll see how that gets on when I get around to film some of those. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, guys, on this update. If you played it yourself, if you've just seen the video and sort of getting a bit of a feel for it. I'll see you all next time, guys. Bye-bye.